So this is an antique newel post off of a staircase from a house in Cleveland. That's the post that connects all the railing assemblies on the staircase. Any post that you see that a railing comes off of is considered a newel post. And we want to make a rubber mold for it so we can cast it in concrete. And then I'm going to add some detail to it and get it long enough so that we can sink them in the ground and we can hook wrought iron fencing to them. We can use them for all kinds of different purposes, but I want to really use them a lot at the new property. So all of this detail, you know, back in the day, this guy had to cut every joint by hand and fit every joint by hand. So something like this, I can only imagine it probably took somebody a day to assemble that on site. We're gonna make a mold out of it so we can use this. Well, we can use it interior or exterior, so we'll be able to pour it in our cast stone mixture, which is mainly concrete. So he's gonna pour half of it in this pour, then we'll put the other half of the mother mold on, and then we're gonna pour it 100%. That way we can split this in half when we pour it full of concrete. And then we're gonna put a 3-inch steel pipe in it when we pour it to give it strength. It'll act like rebar in it, and if we're attaching our iron gates and things like that to it, we can drill through the concrete and tap into that steel on the inside to give us the strength of a steel post. So this will be like a concrete covering essentially. So we made it so it's 5 foot, and the steel is going to be sticking out however long we need it to stick out. Okay. So that we can lock it into the ground, into a concrete pour in the ground. Or we can make it taller with landscaping to hide that lower part. Or we could pour an extension if we had to make it taller. This would have been out of probably an 1850s house. So, I mean, you can even see they used a old growth pine to make it. You just never see the lines that close together. And then Tim did a great job repairing it. He made some moldings that match the old. Let's see that right there. Great, nice job, Tim.
Once the mold is poured, is that original piece still going to look like that?
Yeah.
It just peels right off?
Yeah, supposed to. That's our hope.
Yeah.
So we sprayed it with a silicone mold release spray. But sometimes the porosity of the different materials grabs that rubber and it makes it real difficult. You know, it's the first one of this complexity that we did, as large as we did, and there's just so many nooks and crannies in the old post that the rubber grabbed too many places that we couldn't get it off, and we started trying to pull it off and we ended up ripping the rubber. So I think as we're taking it off too, we're not sure if this is going to go back together when we pour the new mold as we thought. And I think it's going to be such a great mold that we want to make it out of something that's more durable. So I think we're going to make it completely out of metal now. So
That's why Missy's here.
yeah. So I think what we want to do is flange 4 pieces.
Okay. 1-inch flange.
Yeah. You know, with holes that align it every, I don't know, a couple inches, every 3 inches or something. And then Tim's going to take, you know, looking at it from the side view,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's got the flange. He's going to make these little plugs because we really like this so much that I want to pretty much duplicate the centers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So then he'll make those and we'll screw those on there on each panel.
Mm-hmm.
So we need 2 holes in each one, probably like a 1032 or something.
Okay.
So basically you'll be putting a hole here, you know, we could just stay the same distance from the edge
Okay.
or something on all of them. And then he'll glue those on there. And then this top part, he's gonna make a rubber mold again of this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll pour everything. And then when we'll pull this outer box off in 2 pieces, cut the rubber, peel the rubber. So then
Mm-hmm.
you unbolt the 4 pieces of metal.
Okay.
So it almost has to work, right?
Okay.
So we'll just duplicate this thing up basically exactly. Tim's gonna make his plugs, you know, the same size as this.
Okay.
We just like this so much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah, it's a really nice detail.
You know, some craftsman 150 years ago, you know, made all that. So it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like this is not centered. See that? 4 by 3.5. So it looks, I bet if you look up 4 by 3.5, I bet it's the golden ratio, yeah. I bet it is. So it's pretty amazing that they proportioned and moved things around instead of just centering it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
That they felt like it was worth it.
So I'm going to take all these dimensions back up to my CAD program. I'm going to create one of the panels of the 4 with all the dimensions that we did with holes added in, and then I'll duplicate that 4 times.
To have Grant weld in a little stiffener in there, and then another stiffener at the bottom. And then at the top, you'll have to weld a flange in for that box to come down and sit on. That was quick.
It was really quick.